San Diego is a beautiful city, and the art and culture of the city is reflected on the walls, with murals, graffiti, and vandalism. There are different perspectives of art upon the eyes of the citizens of San Diego.
I work to administrate and implement a graffiti education and mural arts program throughout San Diego region. Something that's embedded in everyone. And sometimes it's so strong you just can't resist but to express it. So it's saying I'm here. It's the issue of creativity. I think of graffiti from one end of the spectrum to the next. I think that this generation or the culture of hip hop and graffiti is very fascinating, very interesting. It's the latest movement in art, so it's current. We have to think of it as being relevant. It's being sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars pieces. Artists are being very successful.
As far as graffiti being important to me, it's free. Like the form of the art is free. That's why I enjoy graffiti art, and that's why it's important.
It is important for artists to get new opportunities since their options are limited and can result as vandalism. The community, including schools, should provide more opportunities for youths to express their art through murals and street art.
Writer's Block is a great organization that's been around for about 14 years. And they started as a way to take youth that were getting in trouble for graffiti vandalism illegally.
Writer's Block does a million and one things. They basically it's a legal yard for people to come and paint, free of charge, where you can meet other artists, get tips on how to work your can, learn about can control, stuff like that. We also teach classes from screen printing, some graphic design, DJ mixing, and graffiti art and history.
This block's our park a few months ago, and there were a couple people that were circled up, and you could just feel the tension when you got there. There was a guy that was painting on one of the walls, and he had a lot of anger. You could just see his anger. He was grunting, he was like, cussing, and he ended up storming out and had a little confrontation, verbal confrontation with somebody, came back, and actually turned around to me and confronted me like, what are you doing here, And I just stood there and let him air it out. There was no, interaction with us, so he went back to painting. And after a little while, after he painted some more, he came back and he apologized. And then after a minute, I went back over and started talking to him. And as a result, he ended up talking to the other group of people. And before it was over, they were all, conversing together, and the tension was dissipated. So I believe that form, that art form, that ability to walk into that environment and have something to release your anger or your frustration or the things that are on your mind plays a big part of, changing the flow of where people could go if they otherwise didn't have that place to go to.
As much as graffiti, murals, and street art can be beautiful, tagging and vandalism can be ugly. It can bring down property values and crimes. People who get caught doing vandalism can be fined and put in jail.
It's that it appears everywhere and not necessarily attractive. They're not like attractive marks on the wall. It's not done in the scope of art. And it's illegal. It's on public property illegally and on private property illegally. And then it's associated with gang activity. It's gotten to the point where it's definitely in the world which talks about the problems around gang, drugs, and even murders.
The court system is really coming down on graffiti and all that, so nowadays you get a felony for any small act of vandalism. So it's we're trying to teach the youth that there's more than just catching the tag on electrical box or a phone booth. You know, you can now paint at malls, go into museums. You know,
like the graffiti movement down here in San Diego, I think it's real quiet. It's real slow. I'd like to see it like a little stronger, but I do know for a fact that here in San Diego, like finding walls is not easy to do. Like it's just not easy to do. Like it's, you know, San Diego is a very clean city. You know what I mean? Like writers and graffiti artists, when they tag around the city, it gets buffed real quick. And as far as doing, you know, art projects like this is hard to come by.
In conclusion, graffiti can be a way for people to promote their culture as long as it doesn't create crime. Hopefully, the city of San Diego can provide opportunities for schools and communities to help artists express themselves in a positive way.
This is the goal. Like hopefully this is, you know, the step in the right direction of bridging that gap with, you know, people like myself and my partner Dice One, and to move on to bigger and better things, to be involved with community organizations to do big projects like this around all of San Diego.